All right, so we've been getting a lot of questions about like what's so wrong with this BVC setup, you know, what's a good setup, all that kind of stuff. So I mean, clearly right here in the saddle it's kind of low, but what they did to achieve that is they have a flat swing arm, which in turn bottoms out. Let me show you where they always crack. This one's actually cracked. Look at that big old crack. Ugly. It's cracking that way and this way. They have these little tiny baby TIG welds. Like, sure, it might look cool, but you know, that's dangerous. Somebody could get really hurt. If you look at like this swing arm that I built, it's all MIG welded. It don't look as nice, but like super structural. That one's been getting beat up for a long time. No cracks on that. So, you know, you got that problem. When you have a flat swing arm angle, then the thing will bottom out. The suspension won't work properly. Look at that. I mean, it's got like no ground clearance. See, ground clearance, no ground clearance. These foot pegs are also super scary. I mean, look at that. Some of our old foot pegs would bend on the right one from the kickstart, hitting it, but like these are just bending away. The subframe is dramatically bent due to interference from the exhaust smashing into the rear caliper. I mean, that's something you need to take into effect. Mind you, this has 18s on the rear right now that look more like 16s. I got 22s on the back of this one. So that's why it looks substantially taller right now. If that one was that tall, it would look a lot more like a banana than it already does. So those factors in the rear actually add rake to the front. Not to mention this horrible offset right here. These look an awful lot like TPC clamps. Do your research. The stem is like way further back than it's supposed to be, because like each dirt bike frame has its offsets, which are all actually pretty similar. I have the same clamps on all three of these machines, all different brands. But like, you know, the stem to the fork should be a certain offset. You can't just put the forks dramatically forward like a whole stem or two and expect the same handling results. Those clamps also are minus 2.5 degrees rake, so that helps you actually steer instead of stay in a straight line like a dirt bike like this thing is gonna do. This front hub is all milled, kind of rough milled actually, but has a ton of weight on this side. I mean, if you look at the difference, look at this guy. That one goes straight all the time. See those? That's an old prototype hub on my Kawasaki. Still a lot less weight than that thing. You can just drastically see how it's like a chopper. So what happens is when you fully turn it and you push backwards, it doesn't want to turn. It wants to skate the front end. Something like this, you fully turn it, you push it backwards or forwards, it's going to turn. Now, these stops are machined onto these clamps. These would have these little tiny bolts as a stops, which they're not running obviously, because if they were running, it would only turn about that much, even though the forks are further forward. Like ours pretty much will almost touch the radiator because they want maximum steering. Anyways, these are just a couple of the little issues. Got a lot of people asking, but I mean, you can just look. Drastically different. Like you can just see it with your eyes. Handles, no handling.